Hi everyone, welcome to my channel for the single mom. This is Adrian Simons, and today once again I want to remind you that you are a powerful creator. And the topic we're talking about today is how to take back your power in relationships. I wanted to talk about this because I think a lot of us walk around with the belief system that the people we love, the people that we interact with, whether it's at work or whether it's at home, we think they have the power to hurt us emotionally. We think they have the power to cause us emotional suffering because our life has given us many experiences where it felt like this person hurt me, this person betrayed me, this person abandoned me, this person made me angry, this person abused me. And because we've had those experiences, we feel that we are the victim in relationships because they have the power to hurt us. So I want to share a story with you about when I was about 5 years old. I was sitting in the swing in Joburg Park, Johannesburg, and I was very happily swinging away, and this little white girl came up to me. She said, "You need to get off the swing are only for white people." And I remember how that hit me, because when she said that, what I heard her saying is, you are not good enough. Because you're not white, you're not good enough to swing on the swing. So I ran to my mom and I told her what happened. So at that moment, obviously just being a kid, I didn't know how to handle that situation, and I didn't even realize that I had absorbed what she had said to me, which was my interpretation that I'm not good enough because I'm not white. I didn't realize I absorbed that, and for many years I actually lived with that, not even realizing that I was carrying that around with me, because it hurt me when she said that and when I experienced that. And this was just a stranger. So with the skills that I've developed and that I'm going to share with you, I want to show you, if you do the adult version of that, where someone comes up to you and they insult you, what do you do? So the focus here is not so much on what she's saying. The focus here is, what is your thought process? Because what I want to show you is how much power you have in terms of what you're thinking. If someone comes up to you and they insult you, this would be my process in that moment. The person insults you, they say something insulting to you, you pause, and in your mind you say to yourself, I am a pure, powerful energy. I am love, joy, peace. Those are my attributes. I accept everyone exactly the way they are. I respect everyone. I love everyone. I trust everyone. I appreciate everyone. So the reason I can think that is because I practice that daily. So you pause and you're thinking that. So immediately you're reminding yourself who you are. So when that person says something insulting to you, it doesn't resonate for you. You don't absorb it. Because like I said, you know who you are. So when you say, I accept everyone exactly the way they are, what you are saying as you're extending it to that person that's insulting you is, you're saying to them, you have a right to your opinion. You have a right to your perspective. You are allowed to express that opinion. That opinion and that perspective is about you. It's not about me. So now you don't have to feel offended by what they've said. And you've also given yourself that moment to pause. And with pausing, you can now have compassion for this person, because just like someone can be mentally unwell. I don't know if you've ever seen when someone is unwell mentally, they may be walking around in the mall and they're mumbling to themselves, or they're on the street at the traffic lights and they're mumbling to themselves. And everyone realizes this person's not okay. And no one takes anything personal, they just stay out of their way. And it's the same thing when someone is not well emotionally. They will be saying things to you that's not going to feel good. They will be saying things like insulting you or being provocative or whatever it is that they're doing. So you don't have to take it personally. You just have to realize that at that moment, that person's mind has been disturbed, which has caused them to think thoughts that are now creating feelings in them, and therefore they are lashing out at you for whatever reasons. The point being, you don't take it personal. You remind yourself of who you are. You extend that courtesy to them of accepting them exactly the way you are. And you're doing all of that not for them. You're doing all of that because that's just your nature. Our nature is to be accepting, to be loving, to be compassionate, to be peaceful. That is our nature. So just to wrap that up, if I had been able to handle that situation in that way, I wouldn't have carried that emotional pain with me, thinking, oh, that person says I'm not good enough, and then absorbing that. I would have had the tools to be able to transform the energy of that exchange between the two of us. So has this ever happened to you? Maybe you're at work and a colleague comes up to you and they say something to you. To you, it feels like they've insulted you in front of everyone. And your thought process is, what is wrong with this person? Why are they doing this? They've just insulted me. How embarrassing for me. How can they embarrass me like this? There off your process, the thought process goes. And I just want to illustrate to you that it is so easy you've now been maybe on a high, you felt really good, and this person comes and they bring your energy down. They bring your vibration down. So what are you going to do? How are you going to handle it? You do something very similar to what I did in the example that happened with me. You remind yourself of who you are. I am a pure, powerful energy, and they are also a pure, powerful energy. So when they're going on like that, they are not expressing their true nature. They are expressing their ego, and you can just allow them to be and have their perspective. So that is the thought process. And then you decide how do you want to respond to that situation. But you will be responding from a place of power instead of just reacting and lashing out and creating a situation that is stuck in low vibration. So I just want to explain what happens as you are thinking your thoughts. When you are thinking your thoughts, you are choosing, whether you know this or not, you are choosing high quality thoughts, or you are thinking thoughts of low quality. And how do you know the difference between the two? When you're thinking high quality thoughts, your mind is calm. High quality thoughts gives you peace of mind, makes you feel at ease. When you are thinking thoughts of low quality, it disturbs your mind. Your mind becomes erratic, thoughts start increasing, and for example, as I said, someone upsets you. Immediately when you are feeling upset, that they have upset you, your mind goes into turmoil. How can they do this? Why did they do this? How dare they? Etc., etc. This is the thoughts that you're thinking. You may not say it out loud, but you are thinking those thoughts. And every time you think of that situation, you are sending those thoughts out to them. And what is happening in your body when you are entertaining these low vibrational thoughts? What's happening in your body is your mind is thinking the thoughts. That creates a feeling in your body. That feeling radiates to every cell of your body. So whenever you are thinking these low quality thoughts, whenever you are entertaining these low quality thoughts, it's as if you are poisoning your body because you get the full impact of it. And then that radiates out. And if those thoughts are for a specific person, they feel it coming to them. And this all happens sometimes like on a subconscious level. So it's as if you are sending them text messages. And if you continue doing it and you continue doing it, you will find the next time you see that person, the energy between the two of you feels strained. Although nothing's been said, you can feel it's off. There's a tenseness. And the reason is because you are sending these thoughts, or they are sending these thoughts to you. When you make the choice of choosing high vibrational thoughts, I am pure, powerful energy. I am love. I am joy. I'm at peace. I am peace. I accept everyone exactly the way they are. I love everyone. I appreciate everyone. When you are sending out high vibrational thoughts, like those, for example, what is now happening in your body? Those thoughts are creating that feeling in your body. That feeling is now radiating throughout your body into every cell of your body. And just by you thinking that thoughts, you are healing your body. Whatever needs healing, you are healing, whether it's physically, whether it's mentally, whether it's emotionally. You are also increasing your energy. Notice when you think low vibrational thoughts, when you think low quality thoughts, your energy depletes. It depletes physically. If I have to do a muscle test on you when you are thinking these low vibrational thoughts, we would call them negative thoughts, you will see how weak the body is when you do muscle testing. And that goes for your mental wellness is also weakened, as well as your emotional wellness is weakened. So there are so many benefits to becoming aware of this area of your power, so that you can utilize it to have its fullest impact on your life, on your physical well-being, on your mental and emotional well-being, as well as creating relationships that feels good to you, creating situations, experiences that feels good to you. Because as you are thinking beautiful thoughts, you are also in that moment radiating it out into the world, and in that way also infusing everything that you interact with those high vibrational quality thoughts. If you make the choice of continuing to choose or entertain low quality thoughts, what is going to happen is your mind is going to be disturbed. You're going to end up feeling depressed, feeling worried and anxious, straining your relationships, and basically you're robbing yourself of peace of mind. You'll find yourself speaking the language of the ego, which is all about blaming, which is all about being a victim, which is about complaining, criticizing, judging. That is all the program that is basically the ego, referred to as the ego. And most of us have become so identified with the ego that when we are running and choosing these low vibrational thoughts, we now think it's normal. And we don't understand why our relationships are breaking down. We don't understand why physically we are breaking down and having so much disease. And we don't understand why our life feels without joy, without peace, without abundance. And the way to change all of that around is just to become aware and choose to deliberately entertain only high vibrational energy thoughts. So it's like learning a new language now. Learning the language of your higher self, the language of your soul, the language of your spirit, which, as I've mentioned before, is all about the attributes of love, of joy, of peace, of respecting, of trusting. And I know in today's world it's like, I'm not going to respect them if they don't respect me. And it's all about, I can't trust them. When you trust people, you set yourself up for disappointment. But the reason you respect people is when you show respect regardless of the person, what happens is you are able to influence them to potentially increase their vibration in that area, rather than you dropping your vibration when interacting with them. And when you have respect for people, what you do is you would listen to them, You tend to not criticize and judge them. You tend to respect what they have to say, and you are just respectful towards them. And you do all of this not for them, you do it for yourself, because that is your true nature. And when it comes to trusting people, the reason you want to trust people is, or let me put it this way, the reason why a lot of people don't want to trust people is because they fear that that person will turn around and disappoint them, and that disappointment will feel like hurt and pain to them. But as I've explained before, what someone does not have to cause you emotional suffering, because you have complete control over your thoughts. And many people might think, oh, that's a lot of work. I don't know how I'll be able to do that. Well, just like learning a new language is a lot of work. You learn your ABCs, you learn the basics, and then you become proficient at it. How? By practicing it, by using it. The same thing like when you're driving a car. You start out, you can't do everything at once. There's so much going on. But as you get the hang of it, as you keep practicing, before you know it, you're proficient. And like people like to say, you can do it in your sleep. The same thing happens. It just takes a bit of practice. And it's just for you to feel inspired and motivated to actually do the practice. Because as a single mom, remember, you are the leader of your household. Your children are absorbing the way that you interact with people, the way that you handle situations. They are able to absorb your thoughts, what you think of them, what you think of other people. And you want to be a powerful example of how to be precise, to have precision of thinking. I call this method precision of thinking. It's very easy to do the necessary in order to be able to help you to get to that point where you are deliberately choosing only high vibrational thoughts. And when you are not choosing high vibrational thoughts, you are aware enough to say, oops, no, I don't want to go. You have the thought and you're like, oh no, that doesn't feel good. And you change the thought and you start choosing high vibrational thoughts that's going to lead you down a path of a high vibration. The practice that is going to help you to become a lot more deliberate about choosing your thoughts, and I would recommend choosing high vibrational thoughts, is the following process. I've shared some of it with you already. So it's important for you to have a practice of meditation where you, for 20-30 minutes every day, you take the time to build a relationship with yourself, between you and your higher self. Because your higher self is what you are wanting to emulate. Your higher self is your true nature. And by expressing it, you're able to bring more of it into this physical world. But you have to use it, you have to express it. It's very similar to if you are cooking a meal for your family. You can choose, if you choose ingredients of low quality, that meal is not going to be great for them. It's not going to be nurturing. They may not enjoy it. You may not enjoy it. But if you cook a meal with the skill and the love and the high quality ingredients, you're going to be able to turn out a meal that's nurturing, that's beautiful, that's wonderful, that you enjoy, that they enjoy. A meal that's going to have a good impact on you. And that's what you want to do in terms of choosing your thoughts, and in terms of being able to more everyday practice through your thought and generating these wonderful qualities of the spirit: love, joy, peace, etc. So you're taking 20 to 30 minutes every day, and you do the following. You remind yourself, I am pure, powerful energy. I am love. I am joy. I am peace. I am respect. I am trust. And the thoughts to think about in terms of when you think about people is, when you take it a step further, I accept everyone exactly as they are. So now people can have their opinion, people can be who they are, express themselves. You don't have to take it personally. You can allow for that to happen. And people can feel comfortable around you because you're not judging them for being themselves. I love everyone. You're sending out that love. I appreciate everyone. You're sending out that appreciation. Remember, who gets that first? You getting that first. I respect everyone. By respecting everyone, you are able to allow people to give their opinions, to listen to them, to not interrupt them, to have a respectful, good quality relationship with them. And I trust everyone. Remember, as I've expressed before, people don't have the power to hurt you emotionally, because emotions and feelings are created by the thoughts that you think. So you trust people because that is your nature. When you are radiating that trust, you are the one that get most of that impact. And you do want to respect yourself, you do want to trust yourself, you do want to love yourself, you do want to appreciate yourself, and you do want to have peace of mind and be at peace with yourself. So you can use outside situations and people on the outside and relationships on the outside, that is outside of you, to radiate these qualities. Use them as an excuse to be able to generate and radiate these qualities. And you do that by thinking good thoughts about them. You appreciate things about them. When people fall in love, they have such a great relationship, because when they're spending time with the person, they're saying great things about them. But when they're away from the person, they're also thinking great things about them. Wow, they're such a wonderful person. I really respect that person. I have such a high opinion of them. They are so amazing. That's the kind of thought you think about the person. And then as the relationship progresses and you take your focus away from their good qualities and you now start focusing more on the things you don't like, notice how the relationship takes a nosedive. Even though you're not saying any of those things to them, just because you are thinking that, you are changing the relationship you have with them. And I'd like you just to experiment with this. Experiment with this for the next 24 to 48 hours. Take a relationship, think about a relationship, maybe a relationship that's kind of neutral, and just start thinking positive about this person. This is someone that's in your life, and see how that influences the relationship you have. And I would also recommend to do this with your children. We know that our children are amazing, but we may have a tendency that when we think about them, we are critical, we are judgmental, we look at their shortcomings. So maybe experiment by trying it on your children. That'll also be a great experiment to do. So in conclusion, I just want to say that I want you to remember, people can abuse you physically, people can abuse you financially. These are things you don't always have control over. These are things that happen externally. But what happens inside of you, in terms of your thought process, that you have complete control over. And you can master all of that by taking out the time every day. Do it for the next week. Take the time out every day to connect with your higher self. Remind yourself who you are, because a lot of us are identified with our ego. We think we are our ego. You now need to remind yourself and reprogram yourself to realize and become aware that you are not your ego. You are pure energy. You need to remind yourself of your attributes. You need to remind yourself to accept everyone, to respect everyone, etc. And when you do that over the next 24 to 48 hours, see how that changes your perspective on yourself, on life. Feel and experience how rich your life starts feeling. Whereas before you may have been living in a color of black and white, now you start living in vibrant colors, high definition colors, because you are connecting to your true essence. Just like the sun shines, gives us light, gives us heat, because that is its nature. In the same way, we are pure, powerful energy with the attributes of love, joy, peace, all of that. That is our nature, and it's time for us to fully express that. And let's take back our power in our relationships. Let us, instead of being the one that hurts people with our thoughts, let us heal them with our thoughts. We can start with our own families, and in that way we start changing and healing ourselves, our family, and the world. We become the change we want to see in the world. If you need more support with that, I do have a hypnosis audio, which is regarding taking your power back in your relationships, and it takes you through that process of reminding yourself what your true identity is, what your attributes are, and the mantras of, accepting people exactly the way they are. So if you're not subscribing, I'd like to encourage you to subscribe to my channel, and I'd also like to encourage you to share this information with any other single moms that you know, or anyone else whom you think this information will resonate with. I look forward to the next video that I'll be able to share with you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me.